your day with breakfast from Subway.
The Buzz is proudly sponsored by Cayman Insurance Center, specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services. And Kirk Market. Experience a world of choice. And Automotive Art Cayman. Your car, our passion. And by Dorman Day, celebrating 10 years of opening doors to brighter futures. Visit dormanday.ky. Good morning, Cayman. Welcome to The Buzz. Today, we're diving into a topic that touches many families across our islands. Whether you've been through it personally, heard about it from friends, because boy, do I know I have, or you may face it in the future, and that's family mediation. I am your host, Kathy Miller, and I'm happy to have you listening and tuning in with us today. So, in the Cayman Islands, family mediation has become an increasingly important step in resolving disputes involving children, marital assets, and co-parenting arrangements. Joining me this morning to help us better understand what happens in family mediations is Mediation Program Coordinator with the Law Courts, Chanda Glidden, also my friend.
Hi, good morning, Kathy. So nice to be here.
It's great to have you. So you work closely with family matters in the courts, and you're familiar with both the legal and the human sides of the mediation process.
Very much.
So we're going to explore those benefits, the frustrations, the overlooked issues, what families need to know before stepping into the mediation room, because I'm surprised to note it was quite a lot, and what seems logical to me, apparently a lot of people need to be reminded of the basics. So welcome to the show. And before we really start on the mediation topic, I want you to give a bit of a brief summary of your role.
Right. So I'm the Mediation Program Coordinator, as you said. And what that means is it's a little bit of a glorified way of saying I'm a traffic controller because the cases are coming in. I have to designate them. I have to make sure that they're fit to be able to be mediated because most matters are, but every now and then we do have some things that may prevent it from being a viable option for people. So I have to make sure that we do the intake. It's something called a MIAM. People are like, what is a MIAM? It's just basically an assessment meeting and an intake process that allows people to meet with me for that first time, answer questions. We explain what the process is about. So, sometimes people come in and they're thinking they get referred to mediation and they're like, we're gonna start, and they come ready to start. And we're like, no. This is a very gentle conversation first. We start that way. So in terms of my role, I just make sure people are comfortable, they understand what they're doing, and guide them in how to prepare for that. And then we book the sessions. So once we get past that kind of administrative function, then it gets into the nitty gritty of what's the issues that were being mediated. We have those sessions, and then we write our reports in terms of was it successful, was it not. Sometimes we have to help them draft orders because not everybody coming is represented legally. If they have that representation, the lawyers will help out there, but if not, then we'll help them to get that sorted and get them on their way.
So that's your job role. It sounds like a lot.
Yeah, it is.
A lot of stuff, a lot of processes.
It is.
So let's start with the basics then. For those hearing about mediation for the first time, what exactly is family mediation and what is it not?
Okay, so it is a conversation. And I think sometimes when you're gearing up for a divorce or any type of family matter, and I can get into that in a little bit later, but anything that's coming in front of court, you start to feel very adversarial naturally. You get, you sometimes your back's up against the wall or you're ready to fight. And we kind of take all the wind out your sails when you come to mediation because you're like, no, well, I want to be right. And it is trying to create a win-win situation for people. We have two people who are at odds. Maybe they haven't spoken in a while. Maybe the communication maybe they speak all the time, but very poorly communicate with each other. So, we're assessing, okay, what is it that we're coming into the room with? And allowing those people, facilitating them to be able to have a conversation with a neutral third party. And sometimes the lawyers are involved. And that's fine. And I tell people the lawyers are there as a resource. They're not there to be your shield. They're there to support you in understanding the information that you need. So it's a settlement conference with having all the information there. We have financial disclosure. We have, like I said, tools, lawyers, and it's very holistic in terms of we even talk about things like if there's kids involved, do they need counseling to help get through this process? Do you guys need counseling to help get through this process, or co-parenting or anything like that? So we look at the whole spectrum of things, and we just have a discussion, and it's more like a roundtable discussion. And sometimes it does get a bit heated, but it's something that you have to approach with a solution-based mindset versus coming in thinking, well, I need to be right, I need to win, it's my way or the highway, wrong and strong, and you have to give space to hear each other out. And what I tell people is that the judge has the ability to, yes, tell you what to do, but in mediation, you have a lot more flexibility and creativity to decide how you want things to end. You guys are adults. You came into this conversation. You came into the relationship, all in love, and you were going to do or whatever your reasons were. And
did you see my eyebrows shoot up? Yes.
We want to believe you loved each other at one point in time. And, you came into this relationship. And what the courts want to achieve is being able to allow you to be adults in leaving the relationship. You chose how you wanted to start it and how it carried on, and we want you to have the autonomy to choose how you end it. And, a judge is very much bound by the evidence you present, what they can do under the law. So in some ways, their hands are tied with the range of what they can order if you were to take it to trial. But if you're coming in and having this more solution-based mindset and say, what's the best possible outcome that we can all walk away and get on with our lives with, then you actually can create something that's a little bit more tailored to you and have it, quote unquote, blessed by the judge, in terms of the judge still makes sure that there's nothing, no funny business is going on, that there's not any injustice or any illegality. So they're looking at it through that judicial lens still. So there's still that check and balance that people aren't getting away with whatever. And I mean, so I'm a first check, and then it ultimately goes to the judge for that final sign off. But it gives people that option not to have a lengthy, drawn-out trial, have the angst. It's not good for kids if kids are involved, or even other family members, but especially children, to have mom and dad fighting, we're being inclusive and diverse, having their parents fighting, and creating that hostile home environment as well. Because as much as we'd like to tell people don't get the children involved, it is almost near impossible not to do that.
How do you not?
Yeah. So, in a broad nutshell, that's kind of
what mediation is.
Yeah, so it's a conversation.
Okay. And it's otherwise, if you don't go through the mediation process, then you're going to go through a court process, and the judge will ultimately decide.
Yes.
Instead of you coming to the amicable solution.
Yeah. And one of you might like the outcome, because I got some parents that are like some families that come in, and the parties. One of them is very wants an authoritative approach. They want someone to say this was right and this was wrong. A lot of the times it doesn't matter. Like, people come in and I was so wronged, and they did this and they did that, and it's not fair. That's not what the conversation is about. We are dealing with what they call ancillary matters. So money, all the debts, the assets, just making sure that the affairs of this couple, children, all of those things that fall under that are dealt with, and the judge can't grant a divorce until those things are dealt with. So that's the stuff that actually takes up the meat and potatoes that typically take up a lot of time when you see people in court, and you hear people talk about their divorce has been dragged out for years. Whereas sometimes when we can get them in the room and actually having the conversation with or without attorneys, because sometimes attorneys can be very helpful in terms of just setting people straight to say, hey, if you go back to court, this is a likely outcome, and you're going to spend lots of money. You're going to spend lots of time. If you decide to keep trying to drag this out, it's just evidence upon evidence upon evidence, and you're not going to be any better off in the end of it. And I really have to applaud the attorneys that do that, because, everybody always says, oh, attorneys just want to make money, and they're going to drag it out and go to court.
Exactly what my mind is thinking.
Yeah, but that's not always the case. So like I said, I'm really grateful for the attorneys that act in that way and want to help their clients actually have a good outcome and a good experience from this very, very sensitive moment in their life.
Yeah, because it is a very sensitive moment, and you want to make sure that the people that are supposed to be there supporting you aren't taking you for a ride as well, per se, right? So what is it not?
It's not reconciliation.
Okay.
I've called a few people trying to schedule appointments, and they're like, but I don't want to get back together with her. And I'm like, that's not why I'm calling, sir. And so people sometimes think that it's trying to get you back together.
Has that ever happened though? in your experience?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
okay.
I do have a few that it's the minority, the very slim minority that do. But every now and then I do have a few couples that come in and they're like, actually, we're going to give it another go. And I think those are just the ones that tell me, because sometimes they just don't answer you. And there might be some embarrassment there that they've started this process, so they don't want to, bring attention to the fact that they're trying again. But it does happen from time to time.
Okay, all right. So currently, as I understand, only family matters are referred to mediation through the courts.
Yes.
Why is it not available, I guess, through self-referrals?
So because this program is still very new, it started off in 2019, and then, COVID, and there's a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
So we're still working through things. And in terms of, we wanted to start with family because that's always the one that is like needing the most support in this kind of situation. So, why we do it this way, part of the reason, because in some other jurisdictions you'll find that people go to mediation first before they ever go to the courtroom. But sometimes coming in front of the judge, having that process be, you see what it can be like, and then you have that little bit of a difference to say, okay, well, I don't necessarily want to go back to the court. So it does help encourage people to settle on their own. Another part of it is, we do have a very small bench in terms of the judges. So wherever we can support the judges to not have this, if you are going through a judicial process where people can have a settlement and be helped to have a settlement, you wouldn't want to be waiting months and months and months on a court date when, the process could be sped up. So we're taking all those kind of things into context. And it's also that management that we know that people, again, back to the reconciliation point, that people are ready to proceed. So there are some private mediators out there for people who do want to take on that process on their own. So every now and then I do get cold calls, and I explain to them, okay, well, a quick Google search, but maybe there are a few people that I know that do that. So I might recommend 3 or 4 people that they can go to. But the private resources are there to support people who maybe want to put something in place, but they're not quite ready to go through the process themselves.
Okay, gotcha. So now the role of the mediator. I know you explained what you do in your job role per se, but the role in when you have to deal with a couple coming in and you have to go through the mediation process with them. What is your role in that room?
The biggest one is managing the emotions that come up. And people only think emotions are the crying, all right? And no, but it's the anger.
Yeah.
There's a lot of anger. It can be
really scary.
Yeah. And fear. There's all the emotions. Like, people forget we have more than one emotion. And they come out in different ways. So managing the emotion, managing the personalities, making sure everybody feels comfortable to some degree. You're not going to make everybody comfortable, but you shouldn't feel intimidated. So sometimes I have people that come and one side is represented and one side isn't. So it's balancing that.
What do you mean represented?
By an attorney.
So the one party will come in with their
an attorney.
Okay.
Yeah. And so sometimes that can automatically make you feel intimidated, especially if it's a very contentious matter, or maybe just there's any kind of inequality in the relationship and one person has an attorney, or something went maybe got a little heated in court before you came here. And, sometimes attorneys are just doing their job, even if they're doing it very well and as peaceably as possible. But how people interpret what is happening, that has a lot to do with what's going on. So again, that's also part of it, is making sure people are on the same page. So it's like, you tend to have a lot of vagueness, like, well, I want to see my kid. Okay, how many times a week would you like to see them? Or when you say that, what does that mean? Oh, like 3 or 4 hours, or this 1 or 2 days a week. Okay, so then we have to start delving down, because at the end of this, we're trying to create an order. The order can't say, I want to see my kids a couple times a week. It needs to say what days they're on. When you really start to delve down in it, you realize this person is like, well, no, I have this commitment on Wednesdays, or, I can only do this because of my job, or these times. So we start drilling down into the practical nature. And sometimes people get annoyed with me because they're like, why are you asking me all these questions? But But it's like, because I want to make sure this works for you. I don't want you to end up back in court in 6 months' time because you're in breach of an order, because your job said you couldn't do this. And
Right. We got to go to a commercial break right
problem.
now. All right. Quick commercial break. When we come back, we're going to hear a little bit more about the role of the mediator and the biggest misconceptions and unrealistic expectations that clients walk into mediation with. We're going to get into that next.
This holiday season, let Kirk Market do the roasting so you can do the hosting. Visit in-store or shop online and order your traditional family feast, complete with classic roasted turkey and ham, all the tasty sides and trimmings. Let the chefs at Kirk Market be your holiday helpers so you can spend less time in the kitchen. Order online at kirkmarket.ky or visit in-store today. And don't forget to visit the florist at Kirk Market to find the perfect centerpiece for your table. There's no place like Kirk Market for the holidays.
Parents, if you're navigating the world of boarding schools, it can feel overwhelming. Dorm and Day are here to help. You don't have to do it alone. Whether your child is reaching for new academic challenges, looking to shine as a competitive athlete, or simply searching for the school that brings out their best, Dorm and Day are your trusted educational experts located right here in Georgetown. For 10 years, Dorm and Day have helped families just like yours to find the best fit schools with one-on-one support every step of the way. So why stress when you can have an experienced partner by your side? Visit dormandday.ky or call 936-3676 today. Dorm and Day, celebrating 10 years of opening doors to brighter futures.
The year's largest Black Friday sale is back at Kirk Freeport. Enjoy 4 days of once-a-year deals on luxury jewelry, watches, fragrances, accessories, and more. From Thursday, November 27th until Monday, December 1st, find unbeatable discounts, up to 75% off of your favorite brands, located across Kirk Freeport's network of locations. Shop brands such as Pandora, Fossil, Citizen, and more. Visit kirkfreeport.com for store details.
Follow Radio
Social
K-Man
media, X, formerly Twitter,
Facebook,
Instagram. Interact with our talk shows on YouTube.
Download
our official Radio K-Man app, or you can log on to our website, www.radiokman.gov.ky. You can also add us to WhatsApp
on 925-3261.
All the latest information, breaking news, community events, and more. Radio K-Man. The Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
Welcome back to The Buzz. I'm your host, Kathy Miller, and we are learning all about family mediation today. And here to teach us is mediation program coordinator with the law courts, Chanda Glidden. Ooh, she's also a friend of mine. And you know her dad because he hosts Talk Today in the afternoons on Radio K-Man. And, you know, I rubbed it into him. Yeah, I did rub it into your dad yesterday that I was like, your daughter's going to be with me on my show. He just kind of rolled his eyes at me like, you know, like you're not his daughter, right? So as we go back to the convo now, for the role of the mediator you were speaking about, and I want to know, what are some of the biggest misconceptions or unrealistic expectations that clients walk into family mediation with?
I think one of the biggest ones is, especially in divorce, actually, can I just break down kind of the difference? We have summary court level matters, which tend to be contact maintenance,
as in reasons for
absolutely. So I think this just helps kind of set the
go into
frame,
that,
right?
No problem.
So it's for summary court matters, we have typically it is contact having in terms of that's like what people used to call like visitation and that kind of stuff. We've broken things down a little bit more because sometimes people get confused and they think, well, if you're not paying for your child, you can't see your child, and they're all separate issues, but they're all intertwined. But so summary court matters, you tend to get more maintenance, which is the child support and contact issues on a daily day. I need to see my child, right? With the divorce, which is grand court stuff, you get, I say stuff, I'm not, let me use my proper vocabulary. Grand court matters. So with grand court matters, you're getting more of it's divorce, and then primarily, and then you'll get sometimes later on, if something has broken down, they might come back to amend or vary parts of the contact with the children-related stuff. But anything we do financially, that gets dealt with in the divorce proceedings, and that's that. You're not coming back over your financial stuff. So that's final. But we understand if somebody has a 2-year-old and they come to mediation 3 years later, whatever they put in that parenting plan or that contact schedule or whatever might not be working because their situations have changed. So there's always room for that to come up. So I need to go back to your original question. What is the biggest misconception? So with a divorce, you come in, people have properties, particularly the former matrimonial home, the place where you lived, where you raised your kids, and usually there's a lot of sentimental value attached to that. Or somebody had it before, and I'm not going to give legal advice because that's another thing mediators cannot do. We cannot give legal advice. So, but the challenge is that somebody comes in and maybe they've had this home before they were married, and then now it becomes matrimonial property, and they have that sentimental attachment because this was my house. It was our house when I loved you, but now it's my house, and so there's usually something there, whether it's money or sentiment, that makes one party very attached to having the home. The default position is 50-50, that you're splitting your assets, and there has to be very good reasons why it doesn't go that way, but sometimes what happens is, and especially with these skyrocketing valuation prices, neither party can buy each other out. But one is unwilling to come to a compromise, to come to an agreement because they want the home. And it's my house and I raised our children there, or I paid for it, or I paid whatever their reason. They are so attached that they refuse to come to a settlement agreement, and they can't buy the other person out. They absolutely cannot. And if I can't get them to see the sense behind it, even if I'm telling them, hey, if you go back to court and you tell this judge you can't buy, he's going to have very little option other than to order the sale of the property and split the proceeds 50-50. So do you want to waste that time or an energy? And some people it's a very slim minority of people, but some people just can't get past that.
Oh, I don't think that's a slim minority.
No, it is. No, they might still feel it, but sometimes after, and again, this is parts of my role that just kind of come out.
Okay.
We might go into a breakout room, have the conversation. I let them talk. I let them get the emotion out, just get all of the junk out of the trunk and just, tell me all the things you hate. And it's like, that's not why I'm there. But I do find that, and we wouldn't let that happen in the room. Because that's the other thing. You don't want the people to become explosive with each other. But if I sense that, maybe this person just needs a little bit of guidance, they just need to talk this out and hear some common sense, rational reasoning, that they can get there. And sometimes that often does the trick. So yes, the majority there might be 50-50 on who comes in that position. But a lot of people you can appeal to their common sense once you just take them apart and have that conversation and let them be with it, sit with it for a minute. And, sometimes we even have to tell people, because that's the thing, people come in and they don't know, and especially if they're unrepresented. And again, I can't give legal advice, so it's a very delicate line I have to do. And sometimes if there's an attorney in the room, I might say, can you just kind of point us out what the law says about this? And if I know they're getting it wrong, I'd be like, let's look that up. But most of the times they're getting it right. Or if I feel like there's any kind of so that's again juggling, making sure everything's balanced.
It would be considered you giving legal advice if you said something like, let's refer to what the law says on this matter.
No, because sometimes no. So
I just want to
that. So I think it's very delicate in terms of, that's why I said I might use an attorney. I might say generally this is the starting point. I can give a little bit of guidance there. So, but I don't have the law in front of me going, well, we're looking at this and we're going to interpret it this way and like that. But, like I said, so I'll use the resources I have available in the room with me, or I'll just let them know generally this is the starting point, because that's mostly common knowledge, right? So I can guide in that way, and I can say I've seen other people go through this, and then what tends to happen is this, and this. So is that what you guys want? But so that's one of that's part of those challenges, is somebody wants to hold on to an asset that they really can't afford to hold on to, or they think, let's say they have $1 million property. And if they sell it, and even with the real estate fees, you're still walking away with somewhere around $400,000 each, right? And they go, well, I'm going to be homeless. So sometimes it is just taking the reality check to them. Kids are another one. People come in with safe, like, and maybe this is a question we were going to get to later in terms of, just what can't be mediated is it brings some divorce and these type of family matters sometimes bring out the worst in people.
Yeah.
So you're hearing all of every last little thing they've done wrong. Mm-hmm. And I have to tell them a lot of times, like, they don't want the child to go because this or that, or they didn't feed them what the mom or dad would have fed them, or didn't bathe them at a time, or didn't put them to bed on time, or and it's walking that line between what are family values, and we're always looking at what's in the best interest of the child. As officers of the court, we have to make sure that child is safe and protected. And sometimes people are raising things that seem like safety concerns or seem like some detriment to the child, and they will say it's not in the child's best interest, especially if I've said it, and then they're like, well, see, it's not in the child's best interest. And it's like, well, if they didn't get the ponytail quite right, then it's not detrimental. Yeah. And they miss the fact that that individual, whoever they are saying is such a bad parent, is still showing up, where we have parents that don't show up. So it's like, yeah, okay, they didn't do it the way you do it. And that's going to come out. All the parenting styles start to come out. Yeah. You have like an authoritative parent. You have like a very emotional parent. You have one that's pro-education and one that's like, oh, we'll learn through play and whatever.
Yes, nature.
And one's like, academics. So you start to really see the polarity between people. And I'm like, I can't change that. You lived with this, but it was muted for a very long time.
Which is interesting, because you would think a lot of these conversations would happen before you enter into this relationship or marriage or have a child with somebody.
Yeah.
So, and that kind of brings me to a point that I made a little promo where I said, man, this is why family mediation, or just mediation, can be a hard thing, but family mediation, especially if it's divorce, children, splitting assets. My thing is, I have these conversations beforehand. What's wrong with a prenup? Why isn't a prenup in place? So it's things like this that I look at, like, we could avoid so much if we have these conversations. And in our jurisdiction,
prenups weren't really a big thing, right? So they're only getting recognized more and more by the court, prenups and postnums. So in this case, we're creating a postnump pretty much. Like, you're coming to an agreement as to how you want to end this relationship. And I think that's why the court emphasizes this ability to have get people into mediation, have this conversation, because, again, you decided how you wanted to get into it. You can decide how you want to get out of it.
You went into it.
You went into it.
Maybe not all the conversations you should have had.
Yeah. And I mean, that's so typical of people not to sometimes I was thinking, as you were saying, I was like, sometimes these are the conversations that cause the divorce in the first place, because they don't have it. But
we got to go to a quick commercial break right now. When we come back, we'll get into what a mediation process would look like, and how families can prepare for mediation. Because apparently,
tired of burning cash at the gas pump and wasting time in traffic? Say goodbye to gridlock and hello to freedom with a Kimco scooter from Automotive Art. Trusted in over 100 countries, Kimco is now known worldwide for reliable, fuel-efficient scooters built to last. Perfect for Cayman's roads. With two models to choose from, the Agility 125cc for just $23.99 and the Agility RS Naked 125cc for $24.99. It's the smart, budget-friendly way to beat traffic and cut costs. Visit Automotive Art today and ride smarter with Kimco, because saving money should never mean slowing down.
I'm Michael Webster.
And I'm Denise Brown of Cayman Insurance Center.
Family is not the most important thing, it's everything.
We have worked with the community and their families on protecting themselves for the future.
Whether it's providing top-rated life insurance
or protecting your family's household investment.
From our family to yours, we understand and we care.
I'm Denise Brown. Call me at 814-7229.
And I'm Michael Webster at 925-5433.
We are Cayman Insurance Center,
specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services at an affordable rate. We are Michael and
Denise at Cayman Insurance Center.
Call today.
This holiday season, let Kirk Market do the roasting so you can do the hosting. Visit in-store or shop online and order your traditional family feast, complete with classic roasted turkey and ham, all the tasty sides and trimmings. Let the chefs at Kirk Market be your holiday helpers so you can spend less time in the kitchen. Order online at kirkmarket.ky or visit in store today. And don't forget to visit the florist at Kirk Market to find the perfect centerpiece for your table. There's no place like Kirk Market for the holidays.
The Super American Circus is back in Grand Cayman, December 5th to 7th at the Lions Center Christmas Village. Experience jaw-dropping aerial ballet, thrilling high-wire acts, acrobats, a BMX stunt team, comedy, clowns, and non-stop holiday magic. It's 45 minutes of fun and excitement for all ages, supporting acts of random kindness and one-to-one charities. 8 shows, 3 days. Get your tickets now at ticketsplus.ky or eventpro.ky. The Super American Circus, where holiday magic meets world-class entertainment.
Why settle for noise when you can enjoy the hits that make you feel alive? Breeze 105.3 FM has the classics, the memories, and the vibe you've been missing. Switch your dial and catch the Breeze 105.3 FM.
The Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
Welcome back to The Buzz. I'm your host, Kathy Miller. We are talking about family mediation with Chanda Glidden. She is the mediation program coordinator with the law courts. And I know that you told us the role of what you do, what the mediation program coordinator does, what that role entails. Yep. And we know the reasons why people get sent to mediation. But if you could just really quickly tell us how that process goes.
Sure. So any kind of application, you would start with your application to court, whether it's for maintenance, contact, or a divorce proceeding. So you do your first step process of filling out that application, getting it in front of the court. It usually goes to a first mention, and the judge or magistrate that's looking at your matter would read the papers, speak to you a little bit if they felt that the issues were what could be something that could be resolved in mediation, not necessarily highly legally complex, then they would send it over to us. And I will say that we do have this extra layer of privacy and confidentiality between the court and the mediation. So it's like once it comes over to me, it kind of gets suspended in my space, in my bubble for a little while. I don't write these detailed reports telling the court, this is everything everybody said, or this is where we're at. I just send a little status report to say, okay, the party showed up. Because again, if I have a party that is not playing well, that needs to be documented. And I'll get into that in a minute, maybe. That, I just send these little status reports to say, hey, we've met, and we're maybe coming back at this date, or we're waiting on evaluation for a property, just so the court has a general awareness that this matter is progressing, because it can't go back to court unless I am done with it, whether we come to a settlement or we don't come to one. And then I would tell the court, this is where we're at. We're settled. We're not settled. But otherwise, I just give little status reports in between. Okay. So yeah, they'd have a first mention for the most part, come over, and they're with me until we conclude in some form. And then if we are successful, a lot of the times they don't have to go back to court physically for anything. So if it's like a summary court or a maintenance matter and all of that gets sorted, then if the magistrate's happy with what we've come up with in the order, they'll sign off. They don't have to come back. Okay. But if it's grand court, then because it's ancillary matters, they still would have 1 or 2 processes left to get their divorce decree. So they don't have to physically necessarily go back to court unless the judge wants to see them for something in both cases. But that's the beauty of it. That's the big, big benefit. Keeping you out of court. Yes,
which seems to be a way lengthier process. Mm-hmm. Is the mediation sessions, is it typically like 4 sessions, or can they be a lot more?
We have some parties that have more complex issues. I have some that have come in and they settle in within the hour, sometimes 30 minutes, 45 minutes. And I have other ones that need more time, either because the parties aren't ready to settle yet, and they might just need a few rounds to kind of get them there, or we're waiting on valuations, or there's complexities. We're waiting on other documentations, because we start off with some standard disclosure documents, which is the finances, because a lot of times if you're asking for anything like maintenance wise, we need to know what your financial situations are.
Well, we're going to go into the proof of that in a second. In a second, I don't want to jump ahead for that.
Okay, no problem.
This is getting to it, kind of. Yeah. So there's a lot of preparation that the families need to do for mediation, right? So what challenges arise when they aren't prepared, and what exactly do they need to come with? Okay, so what they need to come with is their financials. If it's kids matters, kids schedules, they need to know, adults need to know their own schedules. What can be challenging is particularly shift workers, especially if you have two parents that are shift workers, because sometimes it can be problematic to find that balance. But we make it work. But that's the biggest challenge with scheduling sometimes. And they have to be realistic about how often they want and what their co-parenting can look like. So again, I spoke about it earlier in the meeting, like you have to know how often you can practically take care of your child. Some people just are not in the position. They don't have the accommodations. They don't have the support. You have people that have extended families that can help. And some people, it's just me. Yeah. So you have to be realistic. And it doesn't mean that you don't want to see your child, but this might be what you can do. And it might just be for right now that this is your situation. And we can change that if circumstances change. Down the line. So yeah. So I kind of try to remind people, this is not a forever, ever permanent thing. You can come back and vary it and change it. What is the emphasis that I've read from some of the materials you gave me? There's a lot of emphasis on dressing properly, having the right attire. And I was just like, well, duh. But because I think when if they're coming to the courts, it's a little less problematic. Every now and then somebody might come in. It's a little bit too much of like a spaghetti top or a little too revealing of an outfit, and security might be like, you can't come in here like this. So I just try to remind people, just dress like you're going to work, dress a little more conservatively when you're coming in. But I would also like that same respect. I would like that same respect on the virtual calls, because the virtual calls is where things can get kind of weird. Okay. Elaborate. Yes. So, my colleague has reported that, she's had someone come in and they were in their bed, no shirt on, just the covers pulled up. And it's like, that's how you decided to come to a court-appointed mediation session? Maybe not. Yeah. I had a gentleman, he was outside and, he just decided to take off his shirt. And I was like, okay, is your shirt off, sir? Oh, yeah, it's hot out here. I'm like, maybe not. So there's a lot of challenges there, and I don't encourage it, and I'm not condoning it, but again, you're working with humans and you want to try to get the best outcome. So it's kind of like, but back to the conduct, and that's the wild stories. Yeah. But, and then we have some get ready with me's and people driving. So it's hard to have a conversation with you when you are doing those things. And you might think, oh yeah, I can multitask, but you're not focused. And then there's a lot of repetition or just distraction on the call. Don't have your kids there. They don't need to be hearing all of this. Don't have other people recording this or in the background listening, because it is a confidential process. And be sober. Sometimes, again, with the virtual settings, sometimes people are in their office and it's fine. But sometimes people are at home, and then, there's a lot of hurry up and wait sometimes in the sessions that I go to talk to one party for a little bit and try to get some momentum on this side. So I'm leaving this person unattended for a little while, and I come back and they might be vaping, or I don't know what they're drinking, and I'm just like, I don't know what's in the vape. Yeah, gotcha. Or in the cup. Yeah, so it's like, I'm trying to balance, is this person sober? So it's a lot harder to do that in the virtual setting, but sometimes it's necessary because we have people in other jurisdictions. They've recently moved, but we're trying to get through this process, or they're traveling, but they still want to participate. So I just try to remind people, we will get through this a lot faster if you just kind of focus and yes, follow the rules,
and you're not distracting me with your clothing or not lack thereof.
So many people don't understand what happens after mediation ends, and sometimes mediations can fail and it has to go back to court, right? So can you talk us about that process?
Sure. So once we come to either like I said, there's either settlement or non-settlement. So if we don't reach an agreement, the matter will have to go back to court. And part of the reasons why we can maybe not reach that agreement is one person isn't actively participating, they're withholding information, or we've gone round and round, we've tried every option possible, and we just can't see eye to eye. So it goes back with, and this kind of does get out of my realm a little bit, but I can speak to it just briefly, is that then the judge will have to decide, does this go to trial? Sometimes parties just need a little bit of a stern word from the judge, and sometimes they come back to mediation, and after the judge has maybe given some directions, clarified what is acceptable, what's not, so depending on what the circumstances are, sometimes after having a little chat with the judge they might come back. But if it's something that maybe it's a very legally complex issue and we have lawyers and the lawyers don't agree, because sometimes the lawyers will get to a position where they're like, actually we could make this work in this way or whatever, but if it's a really legal point, I can't help with that. It has to be adjudicated. So they might just go back for that issue alone. So, but after it goes back, it's really in the court's hands, and you go through that process until you get that order. And what I like to tell people is, if you're able to, do it in mediation, because that trial it could take months for you to get that trial date, and then you still have to go through the trial, and it's a lot for people to have to manage and deal with in their life.
That's a lot of time taken up in your life.
Time and energy.
Focused on that. Yeah. I personally don't have either time or energy for that.
Mediation is far more empowering in terms that you get to decide the outcome.
Yes.
You still get to say, I agree to this or I don't agree to this at the end of the day, versus when that judge makes that decision, you could walk out still feeling victimized.
All right. We only have a few minutes left, about 3 minutes left. So I know that there's some other services or resources offered as part of the post-mediation process.
Oh, yes. So, we do let people know about co-parenting. So sometimes that comes up in either orders, or sometimes parties think that might be the best option for them if they're not getting along. So there are co-parenting options available. That's not through us, though. So we try to just let people know. Family Resource Center does that. There's counseling services available through Department of Counseling Services. These are all free programs. So we just try to let people know. The other thing I will say, just when things get out of mediation, it's no longer me. It now goes to a registry. So you're dealing with the Family Proceedings Unit or the Civil Registry to get updates on your matter, because sometimes I'll have people be like, Miss Chanda, what's happening with my thing? I'm like, I don't know. It's gone back to the court side. I don't have access. I don't have access to that.
So I know that since 2019, you said that family mediation started in Cayman, right? Mm-hmm. So it's still a bit of a new experience. Mm-hmm. And in that sense, what efforts are being done to improve client experience? Mm-hmm. The guidance notes, for example, you brought some here.
Yeah,
you shared them with me.
We realized that when you were sending people materials, it just can't be this long, boring document. So for those of you streaming, we've created some more little fun guidance handouts that, just make it a little bit more pleasurable to read. Working on some videos, so they should be posted soon, with similar conversation, guiding people through these processes. And also, not everyone can read. We have to be honest about that. So sometimes digesting written material is hard. So we've put it in video format so people can have access to it in that way as well. And little things like just being in the room, instead of having a blank table, I bring little stress balls. I bring things for people to play with, because sometimes you're sitting there and I'm gone in the room with the other person and you're there like, what do I do with my life? Yeah. And, or the conversation's getting heated. Funny enough, after I put things in the room, the lawyers started coming and playing with them. They're like, this is great. Thank you.
The lawyers needed it.
But some things as simple as just having tissue in the room, having a pen, having just little things that make it easier for people to be there. There's been times where people get emotional or they're not well and they sneeze, and it's just like, then they're just not composed and they don't want to talk anymore because they're a mess.
Yeah.
So just little things like that have helped keep the conversation going and keeping people from just shutting down.
All right. We got less than a minute, and I know that you got a conference to let people know about.
Yes, we had a wonderful family law conference. We had 3 amazing judges, one from the UK, one from Trinidad, and one from Canada. All the information is on the website up there. We're going to have the conference put out there, but we felt that it was important for lawyers, especially ones that are not familiar with mediation process, to be able to learn more about the process, what's expected of them in mediation, have access to those kind of resources as well. So on our judicial.ky website, we have the speakers' slides, and we will be posting the video. So if you did miss it or you want a replay of it, that information is there. But it was wonderfully attended, and thank you for everyone that came out.
Well, thank you. Do you have a final thought to share at all?
Give mediation a try. Don't think that it is something that is working against you. Think of it as something that gives you a lot of power and a lot of ability to take control of your life and move it in the right direction so that you don't have to be stuck in a hot mess.
That's a great way to end the show. Thank you so much, Shanda. There's so much I think that we can discuss. And, I'm just going to say it because I'm hoping that your bosses are listening or will listen. I would love to have her on a regular basis to talk about court matters, how the courts run, in general. You'd be a great person to have on the show, to break things down for people. So
I'll say duly noted.
Yes. All right, bosses. Thanks for listening, everybody. We're going to go to the 9 a.m. headline news, and then I've got a next segment coming up.
One radio station. Radio Cayman is the voice of the Cayman Islands. From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines. Local, regional, international news.
The headline news is brought to you by Kirk Market and Health Services Authority.
It's a reported cyclist versus car crash this morning. 911 confirms to Radio Cayman they got a call shortly before 8 a.m. this morning that a cyclist had been struck by a car on Reverend Blackman Road in West Bay. Emergency services were sent to the scene to help the cyclist who reportedly suffered a leg injury. In international news, at least 55 people have been killed and nearly 300 are missing after a huge fire engulfing a high-rise public housing complex in Hong Kong. The blaze, which tore through 7 of 8 tower blocks in Tai Po District Wednesday, is now, quote, basically under control, according to Hong Kong's leader. Wang Fu Court is home to some 4,600 residents, according to the most recent census figures. It's unclear how many were inside when the fire broke out. 3 construction company executives have been arrested on suspicion of manslaughter, and an investigation into possible corruption has been launched. And the United States has suspended processing all immigration requests from Afghans after an Afghan man was identified as a suspect in the shooting of 2 National Guard soldiers near the White House. The U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services says the decision was made pending a review of, quote, security and vetting protocols. The suspect of Wednesday's shooting, which left 2 National Guard members critically injured, is said to have arrived in the U.S. from Afghanistan in September 2021. U.S. President Donald Trump says the attack was an act of terror. Those are your headlines. I'm Karsley Fuller.
More news available at www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
HSA's Orthopedic Clinic has relocated to the 2nd floor of the Smith Road Medical Center. Our dedicated team of highly skilled orthopedic surgeons treat conditions ranging from spine to ankle injuries in adult and pediatric patients. We offer minimally invasive procedures from ligament reconstruction to hip and knee replacement. If you have experienced an injury due to sports or day-to-day activities, call 949-8600 and schedule an appointment with HSA's Orthopedic Clinic, now located at the Smith Road Medical Center.
This holiday season, let Kirk Market do the roasting so you can do the hosting. Visit in-store or shop online and order your traditional family feast, complete with classic roasted turkey and ham, all the tasty sides and trimmings. Let the chefs at Kirk Market be your holiday helpers so you can spend less time in the kitchen. Order online at kirkmarket.ky or visit in-store today. And don't forget to visit the florist at Kirk Market to find the perfect centerpiece for your table. There's no place like Kirk Market for the holidays.
The Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
Welcome back to The Buzz. I'm your host, Kathy Miller, and we're pivoting a little bit because now we're talking a little bit about Cayman Christmas and how Caymanians prepare prepare for Cayman Christmas, but we're doing so, in a sense, from an entrepreneur here, and everybody knows his name, Mr. Tommy Ebanks of TCE Paint Shop. And so when I say we're talking about it in a little bit of a different way, it's how you're preparing your homes, getting everything to look fresh and pretty in time for the holidays. So welcome to the Buzz. Good morning.
Good morning, and thank you, Kathy, for having me here.
It's good to have you. How are you doing? What's going on in your life?
I'm having fun, putting color in people's lives.
I love that. That's a great personal tagline to have for yourself.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about TCE Paint Shop, when the store started, what kind of products and services you offer.
Certainly. We started just over 5 years ago. October actually was 5 years. So at the end of the year, each year we give...
Was that right before COVID? Sorry.
As a matter of fact, we opened just before COVID, and I got my first shipment the day we shut down.
No.
Yeah. So we were in the store kind of preparing it, getting it ready. Shipment came in, government shuts down.
Oh my, I need to for us to talk about this for a few minutes here, because that's a huge, that could have been a huge dent for you, because you have to prepare for a store to open. So there's all the outfitting of a store, there's the hiring of the employees and all the products that you need. That's a huge
Luckily,
financial
we had
investment.
some stock when we bought it from the former owner, so we continued to do the blowout sale. But, having a cantina come in at the port and government shuts down. Luckily, about 2 weeks later, or a week, they announced what was essential businesses, and it happened that small stores like ours that sell building supplies were in that exemption group. So we got to open back, bring our cantina in. Again, it was only for short periods of time and only doing curbside sales and that kind of stuff. So we got in 2 weeks after the shutdown, and we were able to clear the cantina, unpack it, put it in the store, and continue to work kind of with many restrictions. So we worked, doing mainly deliveries. We had to go deliver it. And when we were 5 minutes, so we would call the people and say, look, it's at your door. Or 5 minutes before we get there, we'd say, look, we're going to deliver in 5 minutes. So it was, it was quite tedious, but we worked through it. And by the grace of God, we made it.
You did.
We're still here.
And I'm sitting there like, that's a huge challenge. And especially in your first year of business, which is so pivotal. It didn't put you out of business.
No, and you
amazing.
Still have to pay employees, you have to pay pension. Luckily, they gave us, I think, a break on pension for the holiday for those that wanted it, but we still pay insurance. We had to pay all our overheads while we were in a restricted kind of mode of sales. So, we made it. We made it. We treated our employees right. We treated everyone else that ordered right. We delivered to them. We kept them. A lot of people were home, so they were finding a lot of, I guess, honey-do lists became longer. And, we actually catered to those mainly. People were painting their decks, they were painting furniture, they were doing all sorts of stuff. Yes. So we were there and we delivered. And happy to say, our sales didn't really see a hit. The sales stayed pretty much constant, regular. And, it was
That's amazing.
Amazing.
Because I'm expecting it to have taken somewhat of a hit for sure, at least in your first year of business, right?
No.
But then on the flip side, there was the fact that a lot of people decided to, the do-it-yourself home projects. A lot more people became involved in taking care of their home because they had the time to.
That was it. And I think I spoke to a few of my family members who have businesses, Number One Shoe Shop, Winter Circle, Tomlinson Furniture, others. Gifts for the Difference, all of those. And I said, how did you find it during this time? And they said, well, we didn't have as many people in the store, but when we looked at our returns, they were pretty much the same because we were actually we've catered to delivery rather than actually store use. And he said, one thing about that, a lot of people were a little more, accommodating, because if they got something and it wasn't exactly what they wanted, they were fine with it.
Oh.
So, they had less returns, all those sort of stuff. So, I think it works. It depends how you actually react to the, whatever the emergency is, and how you deal with it is what makes you profitable or not.
Just what makes you resilient, I guess.
It certainly does. It builds up resilience. And, the Cayman people are very resilient people. From our forefathers traveling the 7 seas to our mothers staying at home and raising families. We're very resilient people. So
yeah, not just raising the families, but starting so many businesses out here and getting the economy booming
so
while
we
the men
love
was.
our women.
Well, yeah, of course. I love the women too. What can I say? All right. So I had interrupted you because you were telling me about the products and services. But when you said you started right before COVID, I was like, hold on a second. So that's why we went on that tangent right there.
We love that tangent.
Products and services.
Getting back to the products, we actually offer lots of products. We offer interior paint coatings, exterior paint coatings, roof coatings, walkway, driveway, warehouse, epoxy paints for floors. We offer deck paint for boats. We offer boat paint. We offer paint for all of your docks, jetties, whatever you have. You want to paint them, we have a product for you.
And is it strictly paint, or do you have some other products in there?
No, we stick to paint and sundries. So anything you need to get the paint job done, we have it. Rollers, naps, brushes, caulking.
Okay. So the tools that you need for painting.
It's very important because people come in to paint their room and they said, okay, I come for paint. And I said, well, who's painting it for you? Oh, I'm painting it. Do you have a brush? No. Do you have a roller? No. So we take them around and show them and said, is there any pictures on the wall that you're taking down? Yeah. Are you putting them back? No. I said, well, it'll leave a hole, so you need some DAP. So we try to help them. We have a spread list, what is called a 5-point checklist.
Okay.
That each customer service agent have at the store, and they will actually go through that list to ensure that the client is getting what they need to get the job done.
Okay.
Yeah.
Trust me, you're talking to a woman who uses, I think it's 4 different brushes on my eyes alone when doing makeup, 4 different ones. So I completely understand that you have to have the right tools for the exact kind of finish that you're looking for.
That's it.
Yes.
You know, you don't use a 4-inch brush to do a 1-inch groove.
Detail. Yeah, exactly.
You know?
There you go. That's how I'll understand it per se. Okay, so we are here to discuss the TCE Paint Shop Thanksgiving and Christmas sale that is going on. Is it a Thanksgiving sale or a Black Friday sale?
Well, I don't like Black Friday. I like Thanksgiving.
All right. Is it K-Man Thanksgiving sale?
Yeah, we're having a Thanksgiving sale and a Black Friday for those people who like that term.
Mm-hmm.
And it continues straight into Christmas because we decided we were actually going to just do a big blowout sale for the end of the year.
Okay.
Get everything out there that we have. And what we're doing top-down selling. So we're offering our best product at our highest percentage ever reduction.
Which is
25%.
25%.
Off of our best paints. And
okay.
When you paint your house with the best Sherwin-Williams paint, you don't have to paint your house again for 5 years. Bad for me, but good for you.
But we're here to serve our customers.
That's it. That's
right?
it. You know, and we actually want to make sure you get the best possible product on your walls. And that's why we're doing the sale.
Yes.
And it covers, like I said, our best paints, which is our emeralds, our cashmere, which is called the ladies' paint because it's so smooth and goes on. And it even goes a little bit further than regular paints in terms of coverage of your walls.
And we're always looking for that as women, by the way.
We are. And then we're doing our interior exterior paint solo, which goes on any surface you have. Wood, sheetrock, concrete, metal, aluminum, glass, anything you want it to go on. Solo paint can go on anything. And then we have our latest technology, which is our Rain Refresh paint, or self-cleaning paint it's called. You put it on your exterior of your house. You prepare like you would normally prepare to repaint any surface. You put it on, and you don't have to worry about washing it down. Every time it rains, it washes it clean.
I feel like I need this for the interior of the house.
Yep.
For the walls that I don't want to wash.
You can use it on the interior because the VOC level is below what it is you can stay in your house and paint it.
What is a VOC level?
Volatile organic compounds. So it's basically the compounds in paint that gives off that nasty smell.
Okay.
So this is actually below the 4.0, which is tolerable by most people. However, if you're someone with extreme allergies and so forth, I wouldn't recommend staying in the house while painting.
Okay, gotcha. All right, we're going to go to a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we'll get more into the details, a little bit more about the sale and how Caymanians get their homes ready for Christmas, because I know it's a lot of home refurbishing going on.
Certainly.
Parents, if you're navigating the world of boarding schools, it can feel overwhelming. Dorm and Day are here to help. You don't have to do it alone. Whether your child is reaching for new academic challenges, looking to shine as a competitive athlete, or simply searching for the school that brings out their best, Dorm and Day are your trusted educational experts located right here in Georgetown. For 10 years, Dorm and Day have helped families just like yours to find the best fit schools with one-on-one support every step of the way. So why stress when you can have an experienced partner by your side? Visit dormandday.ky or call 936-3676 today. Dorm and Day, celebrating 10 years of opening doors to brighter futures.
This Black Friday, Reflections is bringing the heat with a blowout sale you can't afford to miss. Reflections have selected shoes from top brands like Adidas, Reebok, US Polo, Puma, Nike, and even work boots. Buy one pair for just $40 or get two for only $75. And it gets better. Grab selected Dockers footwear. Buy one pair, get the second pair free. Ladies, we've got you too. Choose from selected items of women's clothing. Buy one item for $15 or two for just $25. And save 50% off selected women's jeans. It's the Reflections Black Friday blowout sale. But hurry, deals are major and apply to select items only. Reflections, 506 Shen Road, across from Kirk Napa Auto Parts.
See yourself in reflections. Oh, in reflections.
The biggest shopping week of the year is here. It's Black Friday week at A.L. Thompson's, November 21st through 29th. Enjoy incredible deals on TVs, electronics, housewares, appliances, tools, and outdoor living. Plus, we're now the official Samsung electronics dealer in the Cayman Islands, offering full warranty coverage on all 2025 TV models. Find everything you need for your home and the holidays in one place. Black Friday week, November 21st to 29th, only at A.L. Thompson's, Georgetown.
I'm Michael Webster.
And I'm Denise Brown of Cayman Insurance Center.
Family is not the most important thing, it's everything.
We have worked with the community and their families on protecting themselves for the future.
Whether it's providing top-rated life insurance
or protecting your family's household investment.
From our family to yours, we understand and we care.
I'm Denise Brown. Call me at 814-7229.
And I'm Michael Webster at 925-5433.
We are Cayman Insurance Center,
specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services at an affordable rate. We are Michael and
Denise at Cayman Insurance Center.
Call today.
Tired of burning cash at the gas pump and wasting time in traffic? Say goodbye to gridlock and hello to freedom with a Kimco scooter from Automotive Art. Trusted in over 100 countries, Kimco is now known worldwide for reliable, fuel-efficient scooters built to last. Perfect for Cayman's roads. With two models to choose from, the Agility 125cc for just $23.99 and the Agility RS Naked 125cc for $24.99. It's the smart, budget-friendly way to beat traffic and cut costs. Visit Automotive Art today and ride smarter with Kimco, because saving money should never mean slowing down.
The Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
Welcome back to The Buzz. I'm your host, Kathy Miller, and we are talking with Tommy Ebanks of TCE Paint Shop. And Tommy, man, he introduced how the business got started, which was right before COVID. And despite my surprise a little bit, thinking, okay, no, your bottom line is going to be impacted in the first year from COVID. That wasn't the case, because as most of us know, you're spending a lot more time at home. You're looking at your home a lot more. You've got a lot more time on your hands. So people turn to do-it-yourself kind of projects. And that's why TCE Paint Shop was able to pretty much thrive during a time where a lot of businesses were struggling.
Yeah, we weren't one of those, I think, walk-in customer type businesses, so we were able to make it.
Yeah, you did great.
Yeah.
So I mentioned, well, we did talk a little bit about the Thanksgiving and Christmas sale. Was there anything else that you needed to let us know about that? 25% off all paints?
All paints until the end of the year.
Including your very best brands.
Very best brands. No, 25% off specific paints.
Okay, gotcha.
And then 20% off of everything in the store.
Okay, so 20% store-wide, 25 off specific.
5 paint lines.
Okay, all right. Now, there is this sort of tradition that Caymanians have, and you're going to tell me a lot more about it, but it does have to do with painting the outside of your home, sometimes a little bit of the inside, getting ready for the holidays.
Particularly the outside, yeah. And now inside has come on as well. So what we do, we actually just like to be there. We are staffed up, we are stocked up, we're ready for Christmas, because it's our biggest tradition is to paint our house, and for those of us that remember, put a little white sand in the yard. Conch shells and all that sort of stuff, we did that. I helped my grandmother do it, because my father preferred grass, so he grassed our yard, but my grandmother had a white sand yard, but before she actually did her Christmas backing of sand, which became a little different because we actually drove a car there to get it, but in the years gone by, they had to walk and get it. So, they do that probably about 2 weeks before Christmas, pile it up in the yard, and just shortly before Christmas, or probably a few days before Christmas, they level it off and let it become white and beautiful. When the sun hit it, it dries out white. They line the walkways with conch shells, so you walk from the front gate to the front door. From the front door, then those of us that remember our grandparents' house, was a house with a kitchen behind it. And then there was a conch shell walk from the back door to the kitchen, and that had beach gravels, which was actually a little different. It's rocks you find at the beach.
Oh, beach gravel. Okay.
Yeah, so that's called beach gravels. Okay. So those gravels went there. And
I haven't heard that yet. So
yeah,
interesting.
And then about a week before Christmas, my grandfather and my uncles would paint the house. So they paint their house, and then they come over and paint our house, because they were all painters. So I guess paint has been in my blood for a long time.
What to say?
So I wonder if I have paint running through my veins. Yes. No, but it's a big tradition to repaint our house. A request these days is, I want it like so-and-so on street number, whatever. So our job, we have scanning devices that we can go out and scan a neighbor's house, a friend's house, a house down the road. So sometime we'll be knocking on the door of a stranger's house and saying, we actually have a client who would like to paint their house the color of your house. Do you mind me scanning your wall? And they said, no. And they'll come out and we'll have a conversation. Next thing you know, I'm selling them paint too. To refresh their house. Yeah, so we do all kind of weird things for customers.
I think that's so interesting, actually. I love that.
Yeah, so we make a lot of new friends that way, and we also keep our customers happy by giving them exactly what they want.
That is very personalized service.
We do.
Which is what I think, especially in retail, needs to turn back to, is very personalized service. We went from, chat bots and call centers in far off countries and whatnot, but man, that personalized service is so important, especially in the relationship building and trust factors.
That's right.
And it brought you even more business, right?
It certainly does. And our long-serving customers, we actually supply paint to Davenport, we supply to Edgewater, we supply to Barrow Development, and a few others, but the Hides and Son group, we supply to them. And what we've realized is actually giving them what they want, when they want it, or before they need it.
Yeah.
And now we're actually supplying to the Crichton group with all of their developments. And, we try to build that relationship. They're all my friends, but we try to actually surplus their needs. And whatever they want, we try to get it there for them on time, on budget, and sometimes even try to sweeten it by giving them better deals.
Yeah.
Where we actually supply them with everything from power washers to spring guns, which we supply all at the store as well. And, I guess later we'll talk about how we're going to expand that supply.
Well, we don't have too much time, so talk about it now.
Okay, well,
we have a few 6 minutes left, so
we're moving
we'll
into a new facility because we've outgrown our old facility where we have twice as much space. So we represent two major brands right now. The number one brand in the world, Sherwin-Williams, and Nationwide, which is a company out of Florida that does great ceramic paints, which are paints that reduce the cost of energy in your house. because ceramic reflects the sun, so you don't get heat penetration. Right. But, we ran out of room. We couldn't display all the stuff that we'd like to offer. So we've actually acquired a bigger facility just down the road, and we'll be moving into that on the 1st of February next year. And the reason why we're almost finished with the work, but we're waiting on the furniture to be delivered to set it up, and it'll look like a Sherwin-Williams showroom in the U.S. It'll be no different when you walk in. You'll be there. You have your architect's corner. You'll have your coffee maker. You could grab a coffee. We don't have the denishes yet, but we're working on that.
I might just have to come in the mornings.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. Come by in the morning, pick up a cup of coffee, look around, and we'll be offering all the supplies, all the heavy supplies, all the sundries, and more lines of our paint. We bring in 2 new lines that are actually the affordable paint for contractors mainly to do bigger projects. And, for the do-it-yourself person as well, they can come in and they'll be there. We're also creating a new center for our EFA systems. Outside, people know it as shore wall, Pyrex, all that stuff. That's EFA systems, that's synthetic exterior textures that are some look like worms when they're through it. Others look like sand finish. You can get gemstone finish. You can get so many finishes. And we have the #1 brand in the world, Total Wall, which is actually made by Sherwin-Williams. And the difference with that and other brands, it has marble granulars where everybody else have limestone.
Okay. And I'm kind of like, what's the difference with that?
Limestone is a softer stone. It'll break down over time. Marble don't break down.
Right. Okay, got it. So what is it about the Sherman, did I say that right? Sherman or
Sherwin-Williams.
Yeah, thank you. Sherwin-Williams. What is it about their paint brand that makes it #1 globally?
Their technology. They're constantly changing technology, looking for better pigments, which basically work against UV rays, harsh weather climates. They do waterproofing primers that basically block effervescence, which is the transfer of limes and alkalines through masonry units to the paint that cause discoloration and fading like you see on your building as you walk in. So we're actually just supplied someone with a proposal for your building.
Oh,
we got a call, so to give them 3 different paint colors for this facility. So we did that. I think your director's maybe looking at it now. Okay. But, we actually have all of those stuff that block that and stop that from occurring. So you don't see clouding of the paint and discoloration. Our pigments are actually the best in the world. Our products go through research. We're the pioneer in leading new technologies like the Rain Refresh. Nobody else has that.
Yeah, I've never heard of something like that.
So it's actually our latest product. When you develop a new product, you have the exclusive rights to it for 13 months. After that, other companies can do it as well.
Okay.
So we had it for 13 months. Now everyone else is trying to do the same thing.
Well, that's pretty awesome. I think you've got a lot of great products going, but the important thing that sticks out to me is kind of the new technology in paint.
We got a new technology in an app as well. It's called the Color Visualizer. You can take a picture of your house, upload it in your computer, download Color Visualizer, and you can color your house like a coloring book so you get the right color. Sherwin-Williams has all the colors right there, and you just move the palettes from the greens to the blues, color it, to the whites to the pinks, the reds, whatever you want. And you can color it like a coloring book. When you find the color, it'll tell you which color you use. You just come in and ask it. It gives you the color number, and we can mix it for you.
Okay, I like that. So what's this app called?
Color Visualizer by Sherwin-Williams.
Okay, I like
that too. So it's sherwinwilliams.com, and then you go on there and look for Color Visualizer, and you can just download that app right on your smartphone, on any smart device and computer, and color it like a coloring book.
That's pretty cool because it gives you ideas. Is this color combo going to work or not going to work? Maybe you're set on something and you just try another color and you're like, no, this is it.
There you go.
Let me move away from my comfort zone and have a whole new look,
That's it.
Yeah. I like that. I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
So for those people that are looking to spruce up the outside of their home for Christmas, I know when you were giving the timeline with your family, it would happen like a couple of weeks ahead of time, right?
Yeah.
A couple of weeks before Christmas Day. So what is the timeline that you're looking for
coming
helping people out?
As early as possible, because many of your painters get backed up as close as they get to Christmas. So we told people to start doing it from October. Start buying. So we brought in 3 containers full of paint, stocked up the store. We're ready to go. And we want to move all of this so that when we move into our new store, we don't have to take much across. We just order a new container, it shows up, and we just pack it in the new store.
Okay, I like that.
So we're trying to sell it all out and give you great deals while we do that.
And where? So you said right down the road, but for those who don't know exactly where TCE Paint Shop is located.
We're located right now at 27 Godfrey Nixon Way, and it's right across from the gas station on Godfrey Nixon Way.
Gotcha.
Our new location, I'll tell you now, will be actually only 400 yards away, and we're moving to Eastern Avenue, number 13, Eastern Avenue, and it's right across from Flow.
Okay, because I was like,
just before you get to the lights, right there, and we move in there because we double our space.
Okay, nice. Yeah. I think I know exactly what you're talking about.
It used to be Serve You Well building.
Okay.
We're working with the former owners of Serve You Well to actually blow out their inventory. And so if you want a good deal on plumbing and electrical supplies, come on down. We got everything 50, and we might even go to 60% off before Christmas to blow that out as well so that we can move in.
Oh, I like how you ended that right there. All right, so those are your final thoughts?
Final thoughts is come early, get your paint so we can get your house painted, and we're offering you great discounts, 20% on all paint in the store, and then on 5 particular paints, which is our best paints, we're offering 25% on those.
Okay, pretty great Christmas deal right there. And we know Caymanians are doing this, are taking care of their homes and sprucing it up on the outside. Yep. So TCE Paint Shop is your place to go.
That's right.
And Tommy and everybody else, the crew there will.
Oh, and I'd like to say thank you to
out.
our customers who've been so loyal for this year, and especially to my staff who has been phenomenal.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Tommy. It was great to have you on. Thanks for giving us a bit more of an idea of what TCE Paint Shop does, how you made it through COVID, and how you're helping Caymanian families get their homes ready for Christmas.
Yes, we do. And we give away to 2 families each year all the paint to paint their house free.
Oh, I like that too. Is it a contest?
No, it's just based on the need.
Okay.
They come in and we can tell.
Okay.
We can tell. And
okay.
we just go out and they call me and I come out and say, could you come in the office? And then
that is so sweet.
Paint free for their house.
That is really, really kind. That's really community giving right there. I love that.
Yeah.
Great way to end the show.
Yeah.
Thanks for being with me
this
this morning.
It's Christmas, we got to give.
We do. You're right.
Yeah.
Everything that you get is supposed to be given. So they say.
Yeah.
I'm going to hold on to a little tiny bit, though, if I can.
You should.
So this is the last show that we're having for November. I'll be back with you on Tuesday, which is going to be our first show for December. And we are right in the swing of holiday season right now. I think there was a couple of birthday requests that came in, so I know I'm a little late in closing the show. So we are going to say a happy birthday greetings for Hubert Walker from your loving mother, Sasha Carter, and loving grandmother, Venice Johnson. I can't read apparently small fonts anymore, so I'm so sorry if I got a name wrong. And that's about it. That was our birthday shout out for this morning. So thanks for tuning into The Buzz, hanging out with us this morning. Everybody have a great rest of your Thursday. There's amazing Black Friday sales. You just heard TCE Paint Shop saying what they have on sale. There's also the Cayman Classic that's happening this weekend. Amazing women's basketball. The men's just ended. I am definitely going to check out the women's teams. There is, Beanie Man's got a concert here this weekend. There's a lot of things happening in Cayman. We're finally getting to the more festive part of the season. So let's let it all roll out. Everybody have a great, safe weekend as it comes as well. All right? Take care.
Sponsored by Cayman Insurance Center, specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services. And Kirk Market, experience a world of choice. And Automotive Art Cayman, your car, our passion. And by Dorman Day, celebrating 10 years of opening doors to brighter futures. Visit dormanday.ky.
You are listening to Radio Cayman.